Hello everyone, it's Jade from Tbr Book Tag. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the anti-TBR tag. Woo! Let's dive right on into the questions. The first question is a popular book that everyone loves but you have absolutely no interest in reading. And to me, that has to go to Gemina, which is the second book in the Illuminae series. So this is like a sci-fi saga, all based around life on board the most boring space station in the galaxy. I mean, that in itself, if you're going to tell me all about the most boring place to live, why do I want to read about that? But then there's like this invasion that's about to happen. I don't know. I read book one, Illuminae. I didn't even finish reading it, and I never DNF. If you know me at all, you know that I try and finish everything that I start. Illuminae was the very first book I ever DNF'd. So I have no interest whatsoever in picking up book two or finishing book one. Question two is a classic book or author that you have no interest in reading. I decided to choose War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. So I believe that this book is like a collection of chapters on history and philosophy. It was published in its entirety in 1869, but to me it just doesn't sound all that intriguing. There is one of his books I do want to read though, and that goes to Anna Karenina, which is ginormous and daunting. So even though War and Peace is regarded as his finest literary achievement, I'm just not interested. Question number 3 and question 3.2 is an author that you have absolutely no interest in reading any of their books, slash the second half of the question, which you can either choose to answer a separate book or author, or you know what I mean, is a problematic author. So for this one, I chose Bret Easton Ellis. You wrote American Psycho. It's a book that should never have been published. Satirical bullshit. I don't want to go into it again. I just find him and everything he stands for, everything he does, his books, filth. Question number 4 is a author that you have read a couple of books from, but you've just decided that their books are not for you. So I've decided to choose Ruth Ware books. I've read 2 of her books before and I gave them both 2-star reviews. It was The Lying Game and The Woman in Cabin 10. I found both of them to just be incredibly slow-paced, have blood-boiling, infuriating main characters. I mean, I thought The Woman in Cabin 10 was basically just a complete copy of The Girl on the Train, but just exchanging the train for a ship. It had the unreliable narrator, no one believing her. It was just like a tedious murder mystery that was really anticlimactic in its ending. And then The Lying Game put me in a complete reading slump. Every time I put it down, nothing compelled me to pick it back up. I found like every single character in this book complete stereotypes, and the book was just full of all this pointless filler, and it was really repetitive. So I've just decided I'm really not interested in Ruth Ware books. Sorry, not sorry. Question number 5 is a genre that you've got no interest in reading, and to me that has to go to YA first and foremost, and also fantasy. I mean, there are a few fantasy books that I've enjoyed, like A Game of Thrones or Outlander, but for the most part, fantasy, magical realism, YA, coming of age stories, just didn't do it for me. Not my cup of tea, or as I have it, coffee. Question number 6 is a book that you bought but that you will never read. I have tried this book, but again, it's YA kind of fantasy stuff and I'm not interested. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Probably a very unpopular opinion. Question number 7 is a series that you have no interest in reading or that you started and just couldn't be bothered to finish. For this one, I'm going to say The Discworld by Terry Pratchett. I mean, I grew up with these books. They were all over my house. My parents had like floor-to-ceiling bookshelves just adorned with his books. They were completely obsessed. I think, every single morning I'd get out of bed and they would just be there with their cup of coffee and their heads buried inside a Terry Pratchett book. And, the artwork and stuff always kind of intrigued me. I just, nothing ever compelled me to give one of them a go. So for those that somehow don't know, The Discworld is this kind of like comic fantasy series. I think there's like 41 books in total. So it all just sounds a bit too bizarre to me. So it's like this flat planet balancing on the backs of 4 giant elephants that is standing on the back of a giant turtle. What? I mean, this guy must have taken some serious drugs. For those that are interested, I've heard that you start with the books The Colour of Magic and The Light Fantastic. However, I've just come to the conclusion that it's a series I'm never going to read. It's a genre I don't enjoy. I had every chance to pick one of these books and dive into a series readily available to me, and I never did. And the last question is a new release that you have no interest in reading. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I love some of Taylor Jenkins Reid books, but some of them just don't do it for me. And this book, from the premise, I just know that it's not going to be my cup of tea. Coffee! So this is a book about 4 famous siblings who throw this massive party for the end of summer. It's set in like 1983. Over a period of 24 hours during this party, their lives are going to change forever. And by the end of it, their big mansion is going to go up in flames. I don't know. It just doesn't sound very exciting or riveting to me. I also haven't heard that many good things about it. Some people love it, some people are like, meh. And yeah. Next. I'm going to tag some people today. I'm going to tag Aoife from Words of Clover, Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, and Ali from The Hardback Hoarder. And also Jacqueline, because she is definitely one of my favourite booktubers. Anyway, I better get up and get ready for work. See you next time, guys. Bye!